Ever wonder how top DJs actually built their careers?
I had to do 15 years of hard work to get any of the recognition that I wanted.
Where I saw a turning point in my career is when I became true to myself.
From marketing and mindset to networking and negotiation, I'm giving you the tools you need to build a lasting career in dance music.
Give them bits of you and your everyday life.
You have to change the way you view the word no. Like me, I'm encouraged by it.
Join me, Olivia Mancuso, and industry leaders as we reveal what it really takes to turn your passion into profit. This is Elevated Frequencies. Welcome to your weekly elevation, your dose of real strategies for real results in dance music. I'm Olivia, and today we are going to talk about something that sounds like it would be soft, but it's actually one of the most powerful business strategies I've ever used, and it's Thanksgiving, so it's on brand. We're talking about gratitude. Most artists think gratitude is just feel-good fluff or like something you post on Instagram to seem humble. But what if I told you that gratitude is actually a strategic tool that can literally reshape your career? And I'm not talking about toxic positivity or pretending everything's perfect when it's not. I'm talking about using gratitude as a strategic weapon to create the exact life and career you want. And I know this works. I have evidence because practicing gratitude transformed my life from making $30,000 a year in a job that I hated to building multiple businesses in the music industry and working in the music industry full time. So if you've ever wondered whether there's actually psychology behind this and a science behind this, or if you're stuck in a career that you hate and you need a way out, then this episode is for you, because by the end of this, you're going to understand how to use gratitude to fast track your success in dance music. All right, so let me take you back to December of 2021. I'm working as, I'm going to use air quotes here, a community director for what was basically a co-working space with some extra activities. And I was promised a base salary, which wasn't high to begin with, plus guaranteed, using those air quotes again, commission from all the events we'd host and rent out the space for, like different, networking events, artist showcases, things like that. But here's the problem. My business partners at the time, really great guys, they're the co-founders, they would never charge anybody to use the space. They'd give everything away for free. So we never actually made any money, which means I never made any commission. And I was working 10-hour days sometimes. I'd come work a full shift. I'd go home and eat dinner, and then I'd come back at night for events. So it'd actually be like 12 hours. And I was making $30,000 a year for this, and I was miserable. So I started applying to jobs, and I got an offer from one company for exactly what I was making in my previous corporate marketing job before I took that community director role. It wasn't exciting, but it was remote. And I was like, okay, that's a start. But when I got the contract, they said I couldn't take on any other work. No freelancing, no side hustles. Like I couldn't even work at Starbucks if I wanted to. And I was already freelancing on the side on occasion at this time. So I had to pass on that. And that was ridiculous. So I keep on trucking. I find this copywriting job for a software company. And I think it was called Excello. I didn't know anything about software as a service, but I'm a quick study. And this job was remote, $90,000 a year, which was more money than I had ever made in my life. So I was like, all right, let's go for this. So it's the week of Christmas, like right before Christmas, and I go through interviews with 4 different staff members. So I'm like, all right, maybe like this looks promising. And then they slap an unpaid writing test on my desk, which I now know I would never do again, but I was desperate. It was to write the outline of a white paper, which is like a research paper kind of with a spin. I won't bore you with the details, but it's really labor intensive. And I had never done it before. And this was before ChatGPT. So I had to spend the entire weekend before Christmas, I think Christmas was like on a Wednesday that year, doing this. Hours and hours, so stressed, needed the job. I was like, please, I need my Christmas miracle. I submit it. I don't hear from them. December 23rd rolls around, day before Christmas. I get a generic rejection email. After 4 interviews and an unpaid writing test, they send me a fucking generic rejection email. And I was devastated. And at the same time, I was going through some pretty intense family stuff. So everything was just coming to a head at once. So after all that, I took a couple days, I had a couple days off anyway for the holidays, lick my wounds, and I decide I'm done with this. I'm done with this rat race. I am going to face my fears and work for myself because there's no reason why I should keep applying to these jobs when I'm being met with this much resistance. So I went to Target. I bought a $10 journal, trying to be fiscally responsible, and I wrote out my game plan. I still have this journal, by the way. It was basically, you're going to find X amount of freelance jobs that pay this much by this time. You're going to supplement with babysitting, which is funny because if you know me, I'm not a great babysitter, but I did it. It's a different story for a different time. And I wrote, you'll go back to working on the beer cart on a golf course. You'll do whatever, any odd job it takes from Craigslist. Like I was sampling like different beverages at grocery stores. I did whatever it took. And then I said, by 6 months, you need to be making this much. Not just freelancing for agencies, getting contract gig work, but you also need to find your own clients. And if by 6 months you don't have this income coming in, you got to go back to finding a full-time job. Now, here's where gratitude starts to come in the picture. My husband had quit his job as a chef about 6 months before all this. He had been working 12-hour shifts for 16 years, being paid salary as well, so no overtime. And if you've worked in a kitchen, you know it's tough fucking work. He decided to make the leap to quit his job as a chef and go back to serving, which to a lot of people seemed like, taking a step back. But guess what? Servers at fancy restaurants in Chicago make a lot of fucking money. And he was serving at a fancy steakhouse. And it was holiday season, so he was bringing in extra money. And so I consulted with him and said, do you trust me to do this? And this is why having a great partner is so important. He said, of course I trust you. We can make this work. I got us for these next few months. So I took the leap of faith and I quit the job even though I had nothing else lined up. And every morning I would wake up and be so grateful for my situation in life. Now I know everyone wants to play the struggle Olympics. Not everybody has a partner that can support how my partner supported me. But maybe you move back in with your parents to make this happen. Maybe you move into a cheaper apartment. How bad do you want your dreams? Life isn't fair. How bad do you want your dreams? So I woke up every single morning with gratitude thinking, oh my God, I'm so grateful I can start my morning with a clear head. I'm so grateful that my husband is carrying the weight of the household for the next few months while I figure this out. Because when I was trying to find jobs while I was still working at the place that I didn't like, that I hated, it made it so much harder because I couldn't think straight. I was focused on responding to emails and events at work while trying to find a new job. And that just didn't work for me. So every morning I would wake up at 7, hang out with my dog for a little bit. I just had one dog at the time. Eat breakfast. At 8 o'clock, I'd be clocked in and locked in on the computer, applying for agency contract gigs nonstop from 8 to noon. I'd take a lunch break. Then I'd do some personal development, like learning basic SEO, taking sales training courses, anything that could help me in this new life. And I would just be so grateful for it. And that gratitude started seeping into everything else. I really got into walking at this time for fitness because just walking is like the best exercise ever. And I'd be like, wow, I have the time to walk. I'm so grateful for living in Chicago, a walkable city. I'm so grateful these tree-lined streets are so beautiful. I'm so grateful my dog is healthy and we get to take these walks. For the first time in years, my husband and I could have dinner together because he wasn't working 6 days a week nights anymore. He had nights off. And I'd be like, I'm so grateful we can have dinner and breakfast together because he doesn't go into work until later and I'm working from home. This is insane. The gratitude just started pouring out of me. And the more grateful I was for these small things, but felt so big to me, the more that came my way. And I found contract work within 2 months. I did what I set out to do. So let me explain why this actually works, because this isn't just feel-good bullshit. There's real psychology behind this. When you practice gratitude for things you want as if you already have them, right? Wow, I have this great life where I get to take walks, I get to have slow mornings, which isn't a thing for me anymore, but it was at the time. Your brain doesn't know the difference between something that's actually happening and something you're vividly imagining. So when you feel genuine gratitude for your future success, your brain starts to create the same neural pathways as if that success was real. And I didn't know I was doing this at the time. It was just happening. This changes how you show up. Instead of operating from desperation, right? Oh my God, I got to find a job. I got to find gig work right now. I got to do this. I got to do that. Instead of operating from desperation, which people can smell from a mile away, you're operating from abundance. You make better decisions. You take smarter risks. You attract different opportunities because your energy is different. Think about it. When you're grateful for something, how do you feel? You feel confident. You feel relaxed, open. Like think about when you're on vacation and you're sitting by the pool and you're just like, man, this is the fucking life. Now compare that to when you're desperate for something. You feel anxious, needy, closed off. Which version of you do you think makes better business decisions? The version of you that's by the pool. Now here's the key difference between what I'm talking about and toxic positivity, because I hate that shit. I'm not saying ignore your problems or pretend everything's perfect. When my studio flooded this year, barely 2 months after I moved in, I didn't pretend it was great, but I did write a gratitude list to stay grounded. Here's some real things I wrote in my journal. I wrote, I'm so grateful for the resources that allow me to move into a new studio with minimum disruption. I'm grateful for the community I'm building and their kind words. That means all of you who reached out to me to share your thoughts, your good vibes. I was so grateful for all of you. I'm grateful for my network and the credibility it gives me. I'm grateful for my dogs and the joy they bring me in these tough moments. I'm grateful for my ability to remain somewhat calm under pressure and choose acceptance in bad situations. Gratitude during tough times is not about denial. It's about perspective. It forces you to see what's actually working instead of only focusing on what's broken. And what you focus on grows. I saw that in a Pinterest photo somewhere once, and I was like, that's so true. What you focus on grows. And that is why it's important to be grateful for the good things you have in your life, because it brings in more good. So back to my transition story into being self-employed. By 2 months, I had enough agency work that I actually had to let some of those lesser paying contracts go because I had too much work. I couldn't believe it. I had too much work. And I credit that to literally making my full-time focus and maintaining that gratitude practice every single morning. That gratitude became the key ingredient to making everything I ever wanted come true. From freelancer to consultant to business owner to podcaster to content creator to Chicago Music Nexus co-founder to starting my second marketing agency. Gratitude was the main ingredient in all of those things. All right. So here's how you can put it into practice. First, every morning before you check your phone or you start thinking about your to-do list, spend 5 minutes feeling grateful for your music career as if it's exactly where you want it to be. And don't just think about it, actually feel it. Let that emotion of having already achieved your goals wash over you. I do this all the time. I envision myself in the places that I want to be, that I know I should be. Let's say you want to get signed to a label. Instead of focusing on rejection or lack, feel genuine gratitude for the tracks that you've already signed and the track deal that is coming your way. Feel it so completely that it gives you chills. This emotional charge is what starts rewiring your brain. Envision it. Literally sit there and envision the email coming into your inbox from the A&R saying, yo, this is dope, however they talk. Envision that email. I think that's one of my major hacks because When I manifest things, I like to manifest opportunities coming in my inbox, and I don't always get specific with it, but something about like an email, envisioning an email is just a very easy thing to do because we've all gotten emails before, so it just makes it more real. So envision that response from your favorite label that's interested in signing your track. Okay, second, that's your morning routine. Second, throughout your day, whenever doubt or frustration creeps in, pause and shift back to gratitude. Instead of, why isn't this working? Try, I'm so grateful that this is all going to work out, even if I can't see how yet. Because you know what? It always fucking works out. Third, keep a gratitude journal, but make it strategic. Don't just write, I'm grateful for family. Write, I'm grateful for the packed venues that are coming my way. Or I'm grateful for the label executives who are about to discover my music. This is how you're going to draw things in, right? There's the practice of being grateful for what you already have, and there's the practice of being grateful for the opportunities that you want to align with. And this seems weird. It seems uncomfortable. You're like, I don't, it's not tangible. It's not real yet. Well, you need to make it real with your gratitude practice. And the key is feeling it, not just thinking it. Your brain responds to emotion much stronger than it responds to logic. So, instead of focusing on empty rooms, be grateful for the packed venues that are coming. Instead of obsessing over rejection emails from labels, let those go. Don't give those a second thought. Feel grateful for the record deals that are aligning. Instead of worrying about not having enough followers, appreciate the community that's building around your music. Now, here's the obvious but crucial part. You still need to do the work. Gratitude isn't magic. It's not going to make something appear out of thin air. It's not going to get you a track signed if you're not making music or networking. But what it does is change your energy so you show up differently, you make better decisions, and you attract better opportunities. When you operate from gratitude instead of desperation, you network more authentically because you're not needy. You take better creative risks because you're not afraid of failure. You negotiate better deals because you're not coming from scarcity. And you build stronger relationships because people want to be around that positive energy. And this is why gratitude is an actual business strategy and not just a feel-good practice. So, in sum, be grateful for what you already have and be grateful for the opportunities that are coming your way. I know this is different from my typical tactical business content, but this is business strategy. This is the foundation that's allowed me to build everything you see today. This podcast, Chicago Music Nexus, my agencies, all of it. I am so grateful that I am able to alchemize things out of thin air. When you operate from a place of genuine appreciation rather than desperation or lack, you make better decisions, you attract better opportunities, and you become magnetic to the people and situations that can help you. So, here's your Thanksgiving break homework. No one likes being assigned homework over Thanksgiving break, but I'm going to give it to you. For the next 7 days, I want you to wake up every morning and spend 5 minutes feeling grateful for your music career as if it's already exactly where you want it to be. Feel it. Don't just think about it. Let the emotion wash over you completely. And then throughout your day, whenever doubt creeps in, you come back to that feeling. And I know doubt comes in over the holidays because you're with your family and they might not understand your music career. They might ask, oh, are you still doing your little music thing? Oh, when are you going to get a real job? Oh, but you have a real job, right? And that's when that doubt seeps back in. And that is when you really need to come back to center, come to self, and trust that everything is aligning perfectly, even when you can't see it yet. Your dreams aren't just possible, they're inevitable when you align your energy with them. Gratitude is how you close that gap between where you are and where you want to be. That is your weekly elevation. Remember, success in dance music isn't about luck, it's about strategy. And sometimes the most powerful strategy is simply appreciating what's on its way to you. I'll talk to you next week.